broadcasting from the Unshackled Studios in Melbourne. This is WilmsFront, brought to you by theunshackled.net. Now here's Tim Wilms.
Hello everyone and welcome to the final WilmsFront of 2020 on this Wednesday, the 23rd of December. We are live on the WilmsFront YouTube and DLive channels. It is 7:30 p.m. here in Melbourne, where thankfully at this time and this place I'm able to, well, not be in it wasn't the Unshackled studio, it was the Unshackled bunker during Melbourne's 4-month lockdown, but I'm finally able to be at the pub with my producer, Margo Reigns.
Hi, Tim. Thanks for having me. I'm
Yes.
honoured and privileged.
I thought it'd be good for us to get together for the final show to reflect on, well, not just WilmsFront for the year, but 2020 in its entirety. And well, as I said, we thought during those dark, long 4 months of Dictator Dan's lockdown, we'd never get out of it.
Exactly. 4 months? Has it only been 4 months? I thought it was 6, actually.
Well, the second one.
Right.
There was
yeah.
the first 6-week lockdown. Remember
Yeah.
to flatten the curve?
Yes. Did we ever do that? Or did the curve ever even rise, really? Or
Well,
just the cases? Not the...
Well, our first wave was more of a phony wave.
Yes.
The only cases we were getting were from overseas, and then thanks to Dan Andrews' you'd say incompetence, we experienced a genuine first wave of COVID infections, and it was, well, obviously the death rate from people dying with COVID,
as opposed to of COVID.
We had 20 die in the first, or you'd say phony wave, and then in the second or first genuine wave, we had 801.
And they were all at death's door anyway, weren't they? In the nursing homes, is that right?
Well, that's where the vast majority of deaths came from during the second wave, which shows that, as I said, it was the most perverse lockdown. The healthy under the threat of massive fines or Victoria Police coming to bash down your door, put you in handcuffs, or okay, people should be able to hear us now. Where did we get up to?
Can't remember. I'm so nervous.
Yeah, people can hear us now. Well, this is the first hub episode, and it's the end of the year, so we are basically exhausted.
Yeah, exactly. We're exhausted. We want to have a drink, talk about the year that's just been.
Definitely. So, yeah. we were just, well, we wouldn't say reminiscing, we would say reliving the trauma of the second police state lockdown, because the second lockdown, in terms of, it wasn't just the case numbers and the deaths which rose exponentially, it was the enforcement, because we only had what was termed the stage 3 lockdown during the 6 weeks to flatten the curve. I know. From April to May. And we didn't have to wear masks during that 6-week lockdown. We weren't confined to 5 kilometres from our home, but during stage 4, you could only travel within 5 kilometre radius, 1 hour a day for exercise, and masks all the time.
Did anyone actually follow those rules? Did you follow those rules? Did you step out of your 5K zone and go out for more than 1 hour a day?
1 hour a day? No comment.
Then I will not comment either.
Well, what does that do? I don't know if they're still what is, because you weren't charged with anything for breaching lockdown. It was called a penalty infringement notice, which an infringement is not an offence or a crime. It's basically like a parking ticket, except this parking ticket was $1,652.
Well, that's it.
Don't forget, when we were living under stage 4, the state of disaster, there was that increased fine of, was it $4,957 for breaching self-isolation, fleeing a restricted lockdown area, and also for holding an illegal party.
Well, the thing is, Tim, I will answer my own question. I did step out of my 5K zone multiple times, but I never got caught. I just don't understand how they would have enough police patrolling that rule, that law. So many people would have been stepping out of their 5K
Well, it was
zone.
always the luck of the draw.
Yeah, that's it. And a lot of people didn't have a good story. So I think that's the key too. You need a good story. But I feel like with a good story, you're still playing into the system.
I think what is Lucky Lance Simon on Facebook, he probably breached lockdown every day with all the videos he was filming all over the place, but I think only got fined around 6 times, which he had no explanation for that. But obviously there were fines that were withdrawn because they were just so ludicrous, like the guy who, this was during the first lockdown, before that, don't forget we had the curfew as well during 8 p.m. curfew. I'm not sure, like, because you're a mother, like, home by 8 p.m.
Even I never had curfews like that. Actually, I had bedtime when the kids were in primary school, 7:30, but I couldn't hold a curfew like that for my own kids, 8 o'clock. As soon as I turned, 18, I had no power over what time they came home. So I don't know, like Dan Andrews certainly has, he certainly is power, I don't know what you call him. He's a dictator.
Well, we already knew what he was like. Because he's been premier for 6 years. He is a nasty, authoritarian, socialist streak.
Sorry, guys. I'm so nervous.
Elbow cough. Yeah, that's how we are supposed to cough this year, by going into our
right.
Did you want to do that? Okay.
Yeah. Look, if I was slicing something in the kitchen and I had to sneeze, it'd be into my arm for sure. But that wasn't due to COVID. That's just what you do as a normal human being.
Well, back in the...
Getting distracted.
Back pre-COVID, you just coughed into your... But...
that's it.
It's not advised anymore. But obviously, Sydney's Northern Beaches has been... dealing with an outbreak in recent days, where that Northern Beaches local government area has been locked down, and people of Greater Sydney have been reduced to private gatherings of 10 in the private home, and Greater Sydney residents have been locked out of our state, Victoria, Queensland, Tasmania, and the whole of New South Wales is locked out of Western Australia. And now the focus of the nation's media attention, as we're 2 days from Christmas, has been on the daily numbers announced by Gladys Berejiklian, her health minister Brad Hazzard, and the chief health officer up there, Dr. Kerry Chant, and so it's sort of it was called, what is it, the Daily Dan, where he'd appeared to announce the number of cases and deaths, and with regard to vast majority of the Victorian deaths with COVID were in aged care, and he'd announced the age range, and he said one male in their 80s, one woman in their 90s, one woman in their 100s, and you sort of think, wow, like I didn't know we had so many people living in their 100s.
I know. they've outlived their what do you call it? Yeah. Whatever.
But like obviously it's sad that they died, but they had a pretty good innings.
Yeah, we're not justifying their deaths or anything like that, but I mean, come on, if you live to 100, wouldn't you'd be happy with that? I mean, I wouldn't want to live past 80, especially if I was in a nursing home. I don't know.
Well, I could think of nothing more undignifying, because there's a lot of talk about death with dignity. Dying alone in a nursing home, your family are banned from holding you when you pass.
That's it.
And you have to you're only allowed a funeral with 10 people and you have to wear masks.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you saw that footage from a funeral in the UK.
Oh.
Yeah, where the 10 people, they had to be socially distanced in a funeral, and one of them was crying, and then another came over to comfort.
Yes.
And then the COVID marshal said, sorry, you can't do that.
I know, that's so ridiculous. Like, do people even think for themselves anymore? Or is it just all, let's just follow the rules and do as we're told?
It felt like that bureaucrat, he was just sort of, he's like, oh, now's my time to do my job to show how I'm
how it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, this is my time to exert my authority over people.
I mean, what are the chances of like these, like they're probably going to hug each other outside anyway.
Exactly.
Like what's the risk? Like we're all still treated like we're all carrying it.
I know. And what is it exactly? So the case numbers that Daniel Andrews read out every morning, they were just test cases. They were people who were asymptomatic. They weren't sick. And then the people who were dying were all elderly in the retirement homes. So
it affected people differently, and obviously for those who are elderly, vulnerable, or with pre-existing COVID morbidities, they were more vulnerable. But obviously there were some rare cases where a young healthy person would get quite sick, but there was nobody.
There was one person.
In their 20s who died with COVID, but it was actually a drug overdose, which well, that's not funny. That's actually quite sad.
No, it's sad that person died of a drug overdose. But come on, why would they use that death to promote COVID?
Well, the thing they argue now is that long COVID. Have you heard that?
No.
That you may recover.
Yes.
And the media like to focus on people who still have trouble breathing after they recover, to say, this is this is long COVID, and that we don't know the long-term impacts. And there's some people who claim that it can bring on early Alzheimer's.
Yes, I've heard that too, and I've heard that it can actually. I've heard it affects your nervous system as well. So, yes, thank you.
No, that's not true, Versace.
Seriously.
But if you've had, because there were 20,000 Victorians who were infected with coronavirus by the end of the second wave, and I actually knew a few of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they've all made a full recovery. But does that mean if they have any health illness in the next 10, 20, 30 years, and it's looked on the medical record, you're with COVID, therefore what you have now must be COVID?
You never know. I don't know.
Because that's what it feels like it's going to be now.
Yeah, for sure. It's here to stay. It's here to stay as a way to control the people. I think, control for bureaucrats to gain more power when they need it.
Well, they've been trying for years with the climate change hysteria. Let's remember how this year began with
let's
Australia's
do
Black Summer, where Australia was supposedly, we were the example of a climate apocalypse because the bushfires in Gippsland, in eastern Victoria, and also in southeastern New South Wales, the smoke went into Melbourne and Sydney, and so it seemed,
that was pretty bad. Yeah. I remember that. It was overcast over here as well. You could see the smoke. But yeah, there was no end to 2020's fear-mongering, was there? I mean, there were the bushfires, and there was the climate scare tactics, and then COVID.
Does my shirt make me look like the Hamburglar Versace? I never noticed that before.
No.
I've worn it on the streams before, but maybe because we are in a, well, we don't have professional lighting here.
No. The lighting's pretty bad.
In the pub.
Yeah. We won't say which one.
Yeah, but you can see us and hear us now.
Yeah.
But yes, that was apparently our bushfires, which Australia has bushfires nearly every summer.
Yeah.
But obviously it was very bad last summer, summer of 1920, with so many million hectares burned.
Yeah.
But fast forward to this year, the only major bushfire has been on Fraser Island in Queensland, which is largely uninhabited, and that's it. You don't hear, like, obviously, when I actually think there's been more weather warnings about asthmatic thunderstorms than there have been for bushfires.
Yes. That was pretty bad, the asthmatic thunderstorm.
But it seems like to me that they're talking about this just because respiratory conditions have been in the news this year.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
But there was the only other sort of wild weather which they attribute to climate change was the flash flooding in Byron Bay on the north coast. But they interviewed the locals there and it's like, yeah, this happens every couple of years. We made sure that we were prepared this time. They didn't seem too bothered.
Yeah.
Oh, we just got to clean up like it's normal.
Yeah, but flash flooding has happened in Australia multiple times. Like it's just part of what happens during seasons. I mean, I remember going to Noosa. I remember the news was saying, oh, flash flooding in Noosa, don't go to Noosa, there are floods everywhere. We went there was nothing. There was nothing. I think there was one road closed and everything was fine. So you just can't believe everything the mass media says, even the weather reports. It's
and more
sensationalism.
Victorians died in the 2009 Black Saturday bushfires than died in the whole of the Black Summer. There was about, off the top of my head, around about 30 deaths during Australia's Black Summer nationwide, which was all tragic, of course, especially those firefighters, 3 firefighters whose truck flipped. But as is the case with the 24-hour outrage, hysteria, panic merchant news cycle, that's all been memory hold.
I know.
And now it's just the same people who were raging about the climate apocalypse a year ago are now on about the COVID apocalypse. But they didn't actually like the coronavirus at first because it interrupted their climate agenda.
The climate narrative, until they realised, if you lock up the people, they let out less, carbon dioxide into the system. They realised that it was better for the environment, so they all jumped on board. I think.
Because I remember in January, February, when the first coronavirus infections were coming to the West, the most important thing for us to do about the coronavirus was not be racist towards Chinese people and Asians. That because what is it? Some businesses got told off for saying that witty signs saying the coronavirus won't last long because it was made in China.
But then Daniel Andrews also came out, didn't he? And state, go to Chinese restaurants. Didn't he come out?
Coronavirus is not on that because apparently Chinatown was
a no-go zone.
Well, soon every hospitality area became a no-go zone.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're of Asian heritage. Did you experience any racist tirades, say from old white men on a tram or during the early days, blaming you for the coronavirus?
No, look, maybe I had people, go full circle around me in the shops, but I think everyone was doing that to each other. I don't think I wouldn't have attributed that to me being Asian. I think I saw that. Like even my mother-in-law experienced it. She was like, "Oh, you walk past people on the street and they'll cross the road," and so and she's not Asian. I think everyone was just afraid of each other.
I remember there were a few Asian and Chinese YouTubers back in January and February who like filmed sketches where they were like in supermarkets and like and like filmed the reactions of people around them, and like obviously there was no malice like involved in that. They didn't want to shame them, but just sort of like see their reactions and say, oh, look at how easily I can scare people being an Asian and coughing.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the thing. People are so easily scared. I mean, I think the powers that be have worked out people's fears, and that is death. And I think they've hit the number one thing, the health risks.
And a unknown new virus. Because
that's right.
It's true, it was made in China, but made in secretive communist China, born in the city of Wuhan, but communist China denies this.
Yeah.
There's two possible ways it was born. So it was either from the bat soup at the wet market, or it leaked from that bioweapons facility outside. Right. But apparently both explanations social media doesn't like. But social media
really?
You're actually not... You're only allowed to say that it went from animals to humans. That's about it. But this COVID-19, it was that SARS, novel coronavirus 2. This is other technical name. It came from bat coronavirus. So it came from a bat. But remember that footage that was coming out of China where apparently people were apparently just dropping dead from the coronavirus in the street?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. We only know what they show us. I mean, how do we know? Like, I don't know if... See, I always think that the coronavirus started after the trade war between America and China. Do you think that led to that? Because I always make that connection.
In the second half of 2019, don't forget it was the Hong Kong democracy protesters where China was trying to get through that national security law.
That's right.
And, well, by the end of 2020, they basically taken over Hong Kong now. It's basically another... Well, it's no longer a special administrative region of China. It is
China.
And they've been able to do that easily, while the West has basically... it has basically followed the China...
the China model.
of combating a pandemic, which is...
Pandemic.
Which is Wuhan. They welded the doors in. People were allowed to shop like once a week or something. It was terrible. Literal house arrest.
But Italy was the same. Italy went through the same thing. Did you know that? The whole country was locked down, and the government was delivering food to people. Did you know that, Tim? Of course you knew that. You're the walking encyclopedia.
So there were basically two CCP viruses. There was the coronavirus, and then there was the lockdown virus. So
that's right.
Basically emulated China's police state response. And what is it? Wuhan's open again now. What is it? They're having pool parties with no mask and social distancing. The nightclubs are open.
Do you believe that? I don't know. I just think, did China ever present as a party country? We never saw footage of China having pool parties ever.
Yeah, I wanted to be there because we were in our stage 4 lockdown during that.
Yeah, for sure. But it just seems like it was so well staged. Okay, look, We locked down the country. Now look at us. We're partying. So it's almost like, don't worry, guys. We'll lock you down. You'll be partying like us one day soon. So, trying to justify their totalitarianism, almost.
And, well, our Premier, Dan Andrews, he rolled out the China model to the rest of the world, the Western world, the Melbourne model, as I called it and predicted it would be rolled out during the Northern Hemisphere winter. We missed out here in Victoria on Mother's Day, Father's Day, Grand Final Day. I'm probably missing a few others.
Days.
Most of the spring racing carnival.
Yes.
So, and obviously in the UK, Christmas has been cancelled at the last minute by Boris Johnson, with not only is he not allowing the Christmas bubbles, but he's moving London and the southeast of England into Tier 4, which is basically another national lockdown where you're under house arrest.
Yeah. I feel sorry for them in Europe, in the UK. I just can't imagine being locked down during Christmas. Do you think anyone would listen? I don't know.
Oh, definitely.
People just need to.
Well, it's actually, illegal for people to leave London now in the Tier 4 areas, like it was illegal for us to leave Melbourne.
That's terrible.
But if you look...
People need to just defy those laws. We need to just ignore...
Well, you can say that to the UK people.
Well, I can't.
Because
yeah, that's right. I will be arrested for incitement.
Well, you'll be extradited by the UK police. You'll be like Julian Assange.
Yes, I want to be like Julian Assange. He's a hero. Isn't
Well,
he?
fingers crossed. Trump will pardon him. During what looks like to be the last month of his presidency coming up.
Really? You think it'll be his last?
Well, there's only one way that the Electoral College could be overturned, and that is if Congress doesn't certify the Electoral College result. The House of Representatives is in the control of the Democrats still. They've only got a wafer-thin majority now, and the Senate, there's the two Georgian runoff elections.
Okay, well, I don't know.
I
still have hope. I don't know. Somehow.
So have you heard that Nancy Pelosi, she's now demanded that all Congress people wear masks even while they're speaking now?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, because she's
lost it. Nancy Pelosi has lost the plot.
Well, she's overcompensating because she was exposed in her private time not wearing masks when she went to the hairdressers.
I know. That was so funny. And she was accusing her hairdressers of setting her up. Is that right? Yeah.
She claimed she walked into a setup.
Yeah, and then she was trying to deflect by saying, look, there's a deadly virus out there, and you're worrying about me going to the hairdressers.
Well, because aren't you supposed to set an example?
Exactly. Should we answer?
Greater Sydney is Melbourne. How sad. Well, it's not, because Gladys didn't. Well, she did put the Northern Beaches local government area under stay-at-home orders, but there's no curfew. You can go out for essential shopping and exercise.
And have they closed restaurants and pubs?
Yes,
and things like that?
takeaway.
They have.
Yeah.
Oh wow, poor Sydney.
And the rest
Christmas.
The rest of Sydney, they went back to the one person per 4 square meter rule in hospitality.
Oh, wow.
And also they were allowed to have 30 people if their home was indoors, but 50 people if they had like a patio or al fresco.
How are they going to police that?
Yeah, I know.
How are they going to police it?
And now it's like, remember when Dan Andrews allowed Melbourne to reopen again, there were limits on indoors and different limits on outdoors. And like, what's indoors with this alfresco stuff? I'm glad that it hasn't basically come to fruition. Remember, they were thinking of basically closing a whole bunch of major streets in inner Melbourne off so people could dine on the roads.
Oh, right. I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Well, you haven't seen it, so that's probably why you don't know it didn't come to fruition.
Yeah, that's right.
So the thing that worried me about closing off roads to have, dining there is, well, we've had to install those diversity bollards in Melbourne because, well, during Dan Andrews' first term, there were all those terror attacks with cars in the CBD. So it's sort of like, if they're going to close off roads so people can dine in, I hope they put bollards there.
Yeah, that's it.
Because that's what, like, there's no way I would want to be a sitting duck, say, I don't know, say, for example, they closed off Chapel Street and, like, put, like, dining there and, like, tables, imagine, on the tram tracks and that. How do I know some maniac's not going to...
Exactly. But that would have been good. Actually, it would have been like Swanston Street closed off to the public. You could open it up and make it a real street fair.
To fight coronavirus.
Yeah, like if they wanted just outdoor dining, that would have been good. That would have actually, they should just do that.
Not to fight coronavirus.
Not for the coronavirus, just for
and
dining.
We were told to stay at home during the lockdown, but as soon as it ended, they figured out what we already knew, that outdoors was less dangerous for transmitting flu-like viruses, and so they're like, now go outside. Yeah. And then they said the home is your most dangerous place.
I know. And then Daniel Andrews coming out and saying you cannot catch corona in a pub. Did you remember him coming out and saying that when he opened up the pubs in regional Victoria? It's like, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but you cannot.
Why did, when we reopened after the first wave,
you're
allowed to have private visitors, but the pubs weren't allowed to reopen?
That's it. Just, the whole thing was badly done.
Like how, well, it was only...
So many contradictions.
Yeah, the mask mania only took over in the second wave.
I know. Otherwise, Daniel Andrews was saying, don't waste a mask. Remember that?
Well, that's before I think he ordered the Berejiklian masks from China.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because we seem to have an endless supply of masks now in Victoria. Non-medical masks made in China. So you can buy a 50-pack for about $20.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Of non-medical grade masks made in China.
Toxic masks.
And all the virtue signalers who wear the mask,
I know.
Some of them seem to just throw them in the
Oh my gosh! Yeah. You don't have no idea how many masks I've seen lying in gutters.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting. And even in some pubs, I won't say where, but I've seen masks lying around on tables in pubs, and it's disgusting. It's like, now I'm like, people in hospitality are supposed to clean that up. Like, if it's such a deadly disease,
well, it's disregard coronavirus. Like, who knows what other bugs and that are on that mask, because it's catching all the bacteria and that. And, well, that's why they recommended pre-COVID not to share drinks with people, because you don't know what sort of other things they've got there.
Yeah, gross.
And like all that is on a mask. It's basically a incubator if it's just left there.
It is. And it's just gross. Like, people, it's such bad etiquette to just leave your mask lying around on the table. Like, people eat there.
Yeah. And I remember the Victorian DHHS websites had all this advice about how to, wash your mask, dispose of your mask. And I remember because thankfully now we can be at the pub and not have to worry about masks at all. But remember when it first opened up, when you had to wear them when you came in, but when you sit down to obviously eat.
Yes.
But when you got up to to like pay or go to the bathroom, you had to put it on.
I know.
And the DHS website literally said, "Oh, you should not be eating and drinking as an excuse not to wear a mask."
Like, how would they even know that's what we were doing? Like, I went into shops with a coffee in my hand all the time, or a packet of chips, just so I wouldn't have. Like, I honestly, forget that I'm defying the mask laws, but I literally just forgot to bring my mask in to the shops all the time. Like, not that I really owned one, but I did have a scarf, and I just kept forgetting.
Don't forget that Dan decided in October that he didn't like scarves or bandanas anymore, and it had to be, a fitted face mask. So don't you dare try and get some extra breaths in. And you remember that Dan, when he finally went to visit his mum in Wangaratta, wearing masks
in their backyard.
Do you because we saw the footage of Pelosi, what she's like in private. Do you reckon Dan he just loves the mask all the time and wears it, or behind closed doors
I think behind closed doors he doesn't use them. I think it's all just virtue signaling and just being just pandering to his own rules and regulations. He's just I mean, do any of those politicians really do what they say? It's just do as I say, not as I do. No, I don't know. I struggle to believe that he's behind closed doors wearing masks.
Well, he only started wearing a mask to press conferences when he mandated them.
Yeah.
And he'd turn up in that, black mask.
I know.
Well, obviously, he looked even more sinister then.
And his hair, he obviously got a haircut when he wasn't allowed. Like, no one could get a haircut.
Oh, you're allowed to. What is that DIY at home one?
Yeah, I don't think that was a DIY job.
There was also speculation that Martin Cooler, the jobs minister whose department signed the private security contracts for the initial hotel quarantine. We still don't know whose decision it was.
I know.
The hotel quarantine report was handed down. It's like we still don't. It cost us.
We still can't recall.
It cost us $10 million. So
we don't know who gave the green light to that. $10 million.
Yeah. So the hotel quarantine program wasted $30 million on security guards who didn't secure the virus, and then for the $10 million trying to find out, didn't find out.
That's where our tax money goes.
Which is going to have to be paid back. The state's going to be, by the next 4 years, $155 billion in debt, which is quite large for
ridiculous. For a state in Australia.
Please keep leaving us comments. We won't put all of them up, but just please leaving the comments. I haven't bothered to do entropy for tonight because, well, this is an experimental one.
Did Neil want us to answer his question?
I'm not bothered about that.
Okay, all right.
Oh, they're directed to you.
Yeah. Well, I was invited to do that. I can't recall.
Using the Dan excuse.
He'll kill me for that, but we all know the truth. We all know the truth.
Yeah, you just can't recall at the moment.
No, that's right.
Because that's how, politicians, when they walk into the witness box, they suddenly have mega memory loss. And that's what you've got now.
Sorry, Neil.
So for Christmas in Victoria, we're allowed, 30 visitors at our home in a day. So it's not 30 at a time, 30 in a day.
Thanks, Dan.
Well, it's still going to be a better Christmas, ironically, than Greater Sydney. So how are they going to... So in Greater Sydney, you're only allowed 10 visitors, but unlimited under 12.
I'm actually happy that it's happening to Sydney.
Are
you happy?
No.
Really?
Well, I'd much rather have an outbreak happen when or if an outbreak was to happen, that Gladys Berejiklian was the Premier rather than Dan Andrews, because she hasn't been wagging her finger like Dan did, saying, obey the rules.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and
that's true.
She's just basically, she's wanted to be, as working, be collaborative with the community, not just threaten and hector. Because don't forget, Dan Andrews blamed us for the second wave, claiming it was us going about our lives, seeing friends and family.
Yeah, us selfish people.
Because Gladys hasn't even mandated masks. She's just said you should wear it when you're at the supermarket and public transport. And I know that the lockdown lobbyists or lockdown lobbyists, they're like, you not mandate masks. You would have got 0 today if you mandated masks. Or what was it, Magda Szubanski, who appeared in that pro-Dan propaganda ad saying obey his rules. She was calling for a lockdown of Greater Sydney. And Dave Sharma, the federal Liberal MP for Wentworth, saying, oh, you're not an expert. And she got really triggered by that. And she's like, oh, but I'm an Australian with an opinion.
Oh, my God.
Yet it's people on her side of politics who've been saying we shouldn't be allowed an opinion because we're not experts.
Wow.
She just exploded.
Wow. Well, Gladys Berejiklian has a totally different constituency. I think in New South Wales, Sydney especially, there are a lot more conservatives who would probably, I don't know, they would be in an uproar if she ever mandated masks or
there was
or hard lockdown what Dan Andrews did. I think no one, a lot of people in Sydney would be up in arms. They wouldn't put up with it. Not like Victorians. Victorians are probably the most leftard state in Australia.
Dan's approval ratings back high.
100%.
And all the polling throughout the lockdown supported all the measures. And look at Australia wide. All the governments that impose lockdowns or border closures. Jacinda Ardern, she went even further than Victoria during their initial lockdown, even closed KFC and McDonald's. She got rewarded with landslide re-election victory.
That's right.
Anastasia Palaszczuk, despite the cruel border closure decisions where a young girl missed out seeing her dying father and wasn't allowed to attend the funeral, or was only allowed a private viewing in a hazmat suit. She still got re-elected in a landslide.
Do you think that has to do with the what do you call them? The electoral boundaries? I think that has a lot to do with it. The electoral boundaries, preferential voting has a lot to do with, because I can't imagine people in Queensland voting for Palaszczuk still.
Well, they did. They didn't.
Queensland is largely conservative.
They didn't use Smartmatic or Dominion voting systems in Queensland, so it was all above board.
But I don't know. I don't get it. Even Daniel Andrews. I mean, look, I get. Yeah, maybe we just have more left-leaning constituents in our.
Well, they probably they only observed from the outside what we went through during the second wave, but it was the lockdown that was the bad thing, not actual fear of the virus. And this is the thing, the lockdown, as the expression is, the cure was worse than the disease. I was depressed, feeling hopeless because of the lockdown, and when they said 700 cases a day, it wasn't like, oh my god, I could catch this disease. It's like they're never going to let us out of this lockdown.
That's it. Same. And so many people went through mental health issues rose exponentially over that lockdown period. I mean, when you take a person's livelihood away, or their desire to work and earn money and income, to support their family, that's devastating. I think that was the worst thing that came out of lockdowns, of COVID, actually.
And
that was the most destructive.
Especially on the children as well, who wouldn't have fully understood what was going on. Why can't I see my friends? Why can't I see grandma?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, my youngest son, he's 6 years old. I didn't think that he had a clue about what was going on. I thought, he just thinks that we have to stay home. But he was watching the footy, I think being shown in Queensland, and he saw the audience there, and he was like, he turned around and he goes, oh, why are there people in the audience? And it was an interesting question, because I thought that's an interesting observation for a 6-year-old. Why would he care? So it's obviously affected him in terms of, well, it's in the back of his mind, why can't we go to the football and they are allowed to go to the football?
But he had a fair point.
Yes.
And I think the children not understanding, you're exactly right. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I thought to myself, well, is he thinking that we're lying to him and keeping him at home and not letting him go out?
It was the dictator that was keeping him at home.
So he knows now, Dictator Dan. He'll say Dictator Dan, and at school he'll even say it. So we've schooled him right. He knows that it's all Dictator Dan's fault.
And our COVID response was called a public health response, which, as we've already established, it wasn't. It was a police state response.
Yes, it was. It was for sure. Because if they really cared about our health, they would care about our health on a holistic level. Mental health, physical health, spiritual. But
and of course, Dan, with the way he spoke about the virus, he says this is a wicked enemy.
He's the only wicked enemy of the people.
So now we're in COVID-safe summer, where the only state still to mandate masks on public transport and in supermarkets and shopping centres. Though I'm definitely seeing I don't think Victoria Police are bothering to enforce it anymore, and the pro-mask Karens, they're certainly scarce now.
Well, the thing is, Tim, if you go on the DHS website, it actually stipulates that no one can enforce anyone to wear a mask. So
it does say that somebody can refuse you entry to your business if they're not wearing a mask. It does say that as well.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But they can't demand that you show documentation to.
Well, I don't think they can even demand you put a mask on. They can refuse you entry.
Yeah.
But I've had no one refuse entry to me.
That's okay. We're blocking out the reflection there, so now you can see it's the vortex.
It is.
Maybe that takes us to the parallel universe where we didn't lock down during 2020, because don't forget, Sweden, they never locked down. We're hearing fake news stories that their experiment in herd immunity has failed, which if you look at their coronavirus curve, yes, it is spiking because it's winter up there, but it's the deaths per million are not as bad as the first one, and the same with the UK as well, where they're going into another full lockdown. Deaths per million are actually down, but cases are at their highest they've been, and you have to wonder, because remember during March and April there was hardly any testing going on, and now there's unlimited what are they called, PCR tests. So New South Wales had another 40,000 tests today, and
who's getting tested?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Why are you getting tested, people? Just don't get tested.
And the same with the UK. There's all these people testing positive, but deaths are down. But they always say, if we haven't taken these measures, because the UK has the cult of the NHS, their National Health Service, so that because they had that, the clap for the NHS. You got outside your home every Thursday at
no way.
8 p.m. where
Oh my gosh! And people do that.
Yeah. And
Wow, they deserve to be locked down. I have no sympathy now. Just lock yourselves in.
Yeah, the hospitals are still largely empty in the UK. In fact, there's they opened up a new Nightingale hospital in the UK for COVID, got no patients.
Yeah, well, that's what happened in New York. They opened up those tent hospitals, and they were largely empty as well.
But it made it look like it was
a pandemic,
preparing for the worst, and therefore that if we don't do this, the worst is going to happen.
Yeah.
And of course, the cult of the NHS, the NHS nurses, they had a lot of spare time to do all those choreographed TikTok videos.
I know. Don't even get me started about what I know about medical staff. And we had this discussion. I won't talk about it, but they have plenty of PPE gear.
Well, as I just said, we've got an endless supply of masks now.
That's it.
Now, we spoke about how in New South Wales they haven't, they have sort of locked down. I didn't think they needed to.
Yeah.
Because, they seem to be getting...
No one needed
to. The upside of their high testing is that, there's only a needle that they're finding in a haystack. But they've got the statewide surveillance through the QR code system.
Yeah.
Check-in system where you're not allowed in at a venue unless you... What is it? Well, you have to have a smartphone first to QR code check-in.
Yeah.
So Brad Hazzard, the New South Wales Health Minister, he didn't particularly like that some people weren't allowing themselves to be surveilled properly. This is what he said about some people checking in.
Now, what we are finding is that some of the visitors to various venues still think that it's funny to be putting in there that you're Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse or a false phone number. That must stop. This is a worldwide COVID pandemic, and thinking it's smart to call yourself Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse is about as stupid as it gets.
The set's falling apart, the makeshift set. But I noticed that the Facebook page Australians versus the Agenda, run by Anthony Kaloof, had here. This is a.
That's funny.
Now we are running low on battery here, so it's probably about time for us to wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Well, we're told there's no normal without a vaccine. We've got the rollout in the US and UK, the Pfizer Moderna one, but it's not going to end the lockdown right away. It doesn't actually make you immune from the virus. It only takes away the severity of symptoms.
But it all
and doesn't prevent transmission.
It doesn't. It's literally they're injecting you with the virus. They're injecting you with a bit of the virus to make you, I don't know, asymptomatic.
Oh, yeah, lesser symptoms.
Yes, yeah. So, I don't know what, is there a point?
Our federal government, they've allowed the states to basically lock us down and lock the borders, but they are right to basically, let's see how the rest of the world, world's peoples work with the vaccine before we approve it.
Yeah, that's
We're back live again. So we can finish it properly.
Yeah, let's finish it properly.
Yeah. Well, this is a makeshift set and a makeshift, or you say, studio. So we're in the middle of talking about the vaccine rollout. But now that we've got a stream back up, we're going to reflect on the year of WilmsFront episodes. Okay. And as you can see now, the biggest battle that we've had is YouTube's periodic shadow banning and censorship, which seems to coincide with every election, particularly the US presidential election.
Sorry. That's better.
Yeah.
Are we both in?
Yeah, we're both in now.
Oh, the lighting's so bad.
Never mind.
I know.
We are live, you're not supposed to.
I know. Sorry.
Hopefully people can hear us as well, because we did have that audio issue at the
we did. That's okay.
But obviously the Unshackled studio that had at the beginning of the year, that had to be closed due to the coronavirus lockdown, because, we weren't allowed to be we weren't allowed to have guests into the studio.
Yeah.
And, so I went back to broadcasting from home and bringing in guests remotely, which worked well.
Yeah.
And there obviously were some big interviews of 2020. Probably the best one was Katie Hopkins, which was, she was fantastic to interview. She was happy to answer all of my questions, including the ones about sort of the more controversial aspects of her career, such as her Final Solution tweet, which got her fired from LBC Radio. That was after the Manchester Arena bombing. She said in regard to Islamic immigration, we need a final solution, when she said, I probably shouldn't have said that because of the connotation. I should have said lasting solution.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you say those two words together, as Fraser Anning found out, it's the end of you.
End of your career. Hi, Anita.
You need to move in.
Okay. Like that?
Yeah, that's good.
I really enjoyed that interview with Katie Hopkins. I was actually surprised at how down to earth she was. I'm surprised you even got an interview with her, to be honest. She's such a big name.
I know.
I was impressed.
Yeah, well, there wasn't any trick that I used. I just emailed her.
Yeah, good on you.
2 months from now, check, and she says, I'd love to be on your show.
Yeah.
And she agreed to it before she got banned off Twitter, which she accumulated 1 million followers, was being re-referred by Trump.
Yeah.
And she basically kickstarted the move to Parler, which is another free speech social media platform. There's a few now. There's Telegram, Gab, BitChute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's gained, I think, nearly 500,000 now.
Oh, well, that's good. Good on her. She's been through so much, Katie Hopkins. I really admire her.
Yeah, she now provides on Parler a daily update from what she calls batshit bonkers Britain, and she calls Boris Johnson now, who basically, following the lockdown model, calls him a potato in a wig.
Oh, right.
So basically in the UK, it doesn't matter who you vote for, whether it's Conservatives or Labour, you get the same thing. With Boris,
even here, anywhere, really.
Yeah, with South Australia, they locked down over a small outbreak, a Liberal government.
And they opened up again 3 days later or something.
Yeah, because their super strain hypothesis was based on what the pizza guy told them. He said he got a pizza when in fact he worked at the pizza place. So their chief health officer, Nicola Spirio, said that yes, it's a super strain. It's spread easily transmissible. In the UK now, they're claiming that there's a new super strain now, and
I know.
Other countries are banning travel from the UK based on this. I just hope that they've based this super strain theory on a bit more than the South Australia pizza box theory.
Yes. So do I.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that they based that super strain theory. It's not more deadly, this super strain, it just spreads more.
So that's the thing that we're being told, that the thing that's so deadly about COVID is how quickly it spreads. But, I mean, I don't even know anyone who's had it. I mean, you
Well,
said
yeah.
you do. But
Yeah.
I know no one personally, and I don't know anyone who knows anyone in the country. I know someone who knows someone over in England, but I don't know anyone who knows anyone in our vicinity.
You don't hear, and remember in the media I was talking about before, you only hear the bad stories about.
Yeah.
And don't forget that obviously this governments have locked down because the media has been pushing the pro-lockdown line. And the mainstream media, they're dying. They've been dying more this year, and the only basically headline grabbing angle they've got left is fear. And they've done an especially good job at scaring people this year, especially, well, you just had to look at the panic buying. Started with toilet paper, then moved on to staples, then meat and milk.
I actually didn't believe the toilet paper buying pandemic. I should call it a pandemic. I didn't believe it, right? I thought, the media's sensationalizing again. Surely it's just, a few people. And then I actually went into Coles. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go and have a look for myself. So I walk into Coles. So I go to the toilet paper aisle and it's empty. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's real.
And it happened during the South Australian lockdown.
People don't learn.
And
they don't learn.
In Sydney as well.
Why? Why toilet paper?
They in the Northern Beaches, they bought other stuff as well. They bought all the bread and all the milk. In fact, there was only, I think in the photo that I saw, only in the milk fridge was strawberry oat milk.
Look, I understand food and, staple foods, but toilet paper? Why toilet paper? That was just weird, don't you think?
It was. But at least at least people started panic buying actual
staple
food.
Yes, that's right. At least they woke up a little bit. Thought, oh, you know what? Forget the toilet paper. Let's just get food.
Now, a lot of people have been saying we can't wait to say goodbye to 2020, but is 2021 going to be any better?
Look, Tim, I don't think it will. I think we're going to see another lockdown. I predict another lockdown.
Even with the vaccine?
Even with, look, there will be a lockdown. With the vaccine, I think if you get vaccinated, you'll be allowed out. I think that's what they're going to do.
They claim it's going to be purely voluntary, the Australian government. Yeah,
there's no such thing. I think frontline workers are going to be first. Mark of the beast, yes, PC leaks, Pete, for sure. We are seeing the end days rolling out.
There was obviously, it was referred to the mask of the beast. Yeah. And there's obviously the vaccine is Mark of the beast, which is worse. I think the mask of the beast is worse. Because, to quote one of the sayings of 2020 with the mask on, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Because remember, in between the first and second wave, Black Lives Matter decided to burn, loot, murder after George Floyd's death at the hands of, I'd say when he was arrested by Minneapolis police.
I was actually going to make masks for my kids to wear at school because my eldest daughter in high school had to wear masks in high school. And I was going to make masks that said I can't breathe on them so that she could sit in the classroom. But we didn't get around to it.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah. But definitely I think Mark of the Beast is going to be worse, Tim. Don't get the Mark of the Beast, no matter what.
Well, we still don't. Well, they've told us they don't know how these vaccines are going to play out. Like, we know more about the virus than we do about the vaccines.
Well, the vaccine is the virus. I mean, the virus isn't the thing. It's the control and the power that they.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to still QR code check in wherever you go.
Yeah.
They're not going to give up. They're not going to give that. As well, if a lot of people, if if they are being hovered over to check in, are just writing in Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck or Bill Gates or Dan Andrews. And we played Brad Hazzard, the New South Wales Health Minister, before. He said there are bound to be outbreaks from time to time, and that's just the way it is. We've got to accept that this is the new world order.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, when who was that guy who said it? It's the new world order from...
Yeah, Brad Hazzard.
Yeah, Brad Hazzard, right? So I often wonder, did he say it because that's what he's thinking, or did he say it because he knows the plan?
I think that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, okay.
He probably realised afterwards that I shouldn't have said that, but he said it again when he was talking about how some people got infected by the coronavirus in their homes. And it's like, it's both a safe place and a dangerous place. We must treat this new world order, this new world of COVID.
But the home has always been, I mean, when people live together, they're going to pass on viruses. I mean, I remember when my kids got the chickenpox, everyone got the chickenpox.
Yeah, I got the chickenpox. It's
normal. Yeah, I got the chickenpox, and I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I didn't really vaccinate my kids. I was about to vaccinate my kids against the chickenpox, but I didn't want to. But then they just got it naturally. So I thought, well, why would I vaccinate them now?
Yeah, I got the chickenpox as a child.
Yes,
yeah, like it.
I still have a chickenpox mark.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
No.
But yeah, like
But we got through it. We didn't die. Yeah, and we're stronger for it, aren't we?
It's the whole
Scars
thing.
and all.
It's a whole thing that if a child breaks their arm, it's like this huge. Like when I was a child, like about every term, like
You broke something.
no, well, a student in my year level, like right, and yeah, like you have a cast on, everyone signs it with Texter.
Exactly.
But yeah, these days they're taking down play equipment because
I know.
Yeah.
I know they're softening the ground. Did you know that? You've got that new floor in playgrounds so that when you fall, it's not hard, it's soft. It's we're bringing up the cotton wool generation a week what? What is it?
I think we might wrap it.
Got kicked off.
We might wrap it up now because
God bless you, Anita.
we've been going for an hour.
Yeah.
So thanks for being my moderator
That's right.
and assisting with scouting guests and
Thanks for
other behind the things.
It's a pleasure.
Let's get back now to having a few drinks while we're still free
That's
this
it.
Christmas.
Yeah,
And we'll brace for 2021.
I know.
Thank you,
Good night,
everyone,
everyone.
for watching, and we'll see you in 2021. As I've said, I've been taking a break over summer, but I'll be back probably around Australia Day, but don't hold me to that. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and an enjoyable summer.
Thanks for tuning in to WilmsFront. Visit timwilms.com or Rational Rise TV to view the archive of episodes. And keep visiting theunshackled.net to view all our shows. And to keep up with the latest real news and analysis.